All right, welcome to our third unit for human geography. We're going to focus on things like population, culture, and economics. Make sure that you write everything down and follow along in the blanks. First of all, for population, it centers around growth, density, and movement. For population growth, it's the idea of death rates, birth rates, and challenges that the society meets. Whenever you think about this, you have to realize that death rate is a number of deaths per every 1,000 people. Birth rates is a number of children that are born for every 1,000 people. And then they play together to find a lower death rate. Essentially, the number of people who pass away versus a number of healthy births mean that if there's a lower number of deaths and a higher number of births, there's a lower death rate. It's complicated, but it's the idea that when you look at the map, you can tell how dense the population is based upon the dark colors. Whenever we think about how this can happen, death rates or birth rates can happen, you have to look at the challenges for the human race. Some of the most common ones are famine, water shortage, housing shortage, and even services like school or hospitals. Essentially what that means is you can't put one school in a ginormous city and expect every single kid to fit in. That's a challenge. Whenever they look to figuring out these large amount of people, you look at that population density when you look to measurements of square miles or kilometers. When we look at some types of population density, you look to the idea of male versus female, as well as how old those people are. For the United States in 2019, you can see that the larger number of people are about the age of 55 to 59, and then there's also a large number in the people of 25 to 29. But also look at the percentages. 9 times out of 10, the male percentage is actually quite a bit bigger than the women. But it also depends on the age of those people. Now, population also not only talks about density, but also we have to look at how people move. The map that you see here shows the amount of immigration for each country, and the darker it goes, the more people migrate to and from the country. This internal migration means that a person is moving from one place to another within the same country. So it's kind of like me moving from Kansas to Missouri when I got the job here. The type of movement called urbanization is how increase in population happens for cities, such as areas like Asia, Africa, and Latin America. People move there all the time, or they move around, making cities larger or smaller. Movement between countries is called immigration. So people who move from Europe to Asia, or people that move to specific countries because of a business, is a type of immigration. So look at the United States, and you can see that it is a lot darker color than areas in South America. But one of the darkest places is Saudi Arabia, which has a very large business for things like oil and trade. Okay, now, when you look to why those people move to those areas, you have to think about the culture and what it has all together. Culture itself, like we've talked about before, is the way of a life for groups of people, whether they have similar beliefs or customs. Ask yourself and write this down in your notes, what is an example of the United States for having similar beliefs and customs? Things like holidays, religion, food, housing, traditions, and history, but give me a specific. Culture itself is an amount of people who have different ethnic groups or races. These people can have shared beliefs or different. Multicultural places have different cultures within the same country or community, such as the United States being called the melting pot. Races are groups of people who share inherited physical or biological traits. Cultural differences that happen here based upon ethnic groups as well as what they have for similar beliefs and customs come in two different ways of looking at it visually. Acculturation is a type of culture that changes long-term contact with another society, and this all symbols around what type of symbol they have. Words, shapes, color, flag, or anything else that stands out for those type of people. Add to government with culture, and you see it ties everyone together based upon what they believe and how they think a country or city should run. Democracy is what the United States has, and it's a political system where the country's people elect their leaders. Unlimited government is a government that has total control over their citizens. Limited government is where those leaders are held accountable by the citizens in a democratic process. Monarchy, like in Britain, is the government that's led by a king or queen, and a dictatorship is a leader or dictator that rules by force and unlimited power. When we look to this type of map, you can see how religion changes throughout the world, how some of it is more popular, and then based upon the areas of different cultures or people, you can see how that religion moves from place to place. Whether the largest ones are Catholic, Protestant, or Orthodox beliefs, each of them has a known area that they're more popular in. Symbols themselves for different cultures or countries range from religious symbols to different places of touring or abilities to gain money, as well as something as simple as a flag, like the American flag. All of those are symbols of a culture, country, community, and everything else in between. Specifically looking at religions, there are 6 that are the most popular throughout the entire world. First of all, you have to realize the numbers themselves change from country to country or area of the world to another. Buddhism, Christianity, Hinduism, Islam, Judaism, and Confucianism is very popular because they also have a type of deity, a founder who is known to be the one that started that religion, holy scripture or books, a type of leadership group, and then an area of similar beliefs, whether they're a little bit different or whether they have specifics. They all seem to run in between of the religion. Add religion and population density to economics, and we can see a country built even more upon itself. When we look at this, you have to say, what goods does the United States create and sell? First of all, we are a developed country. For economic development, this means that our country has a strong secondary, tertiary, and quaternary industry. Developing smaller countries have different stages of moving towards that development. They are not on the same level as the developed country. They haven't met those goals yet. Economic systems, such as a free enterprise, means that people, not the government, decide what to make, sell, or buy. Additionally, factors of production, such as resources that are available around people who produce, money, labor, and entrepreneurs that are needed for business operation. An entrepreneur is basically someone who uses their own money and talents to start a business. Many times this is like small town businesses or eventually what becomes a larger company. Types of economics or economies include market economy, which is what the United States uses, meaning that the consumers help determine what is produced based upon what they find popular, whether they buy it or not, whether they use goods and services or not. A command economy is where the government owns most of those industries and makes the decision of economics. And traditional economy is based upon customs and tradition of that area and the people. So looking over in the top left corner, you can see that the United States has a market economy in areas like malls or shopping places. Command economies, they prevent monopoly but discourage innovation. And traditional economies are in those smaller areas. Maybe they trade one good for another, not necessarily money. Extending on the economy, we talk about a development of agriculture. Development of agriculture, such as domestication, is the growing of a plant or taming of an animal by a people for their use. Subsistence agriculture is a type of farming in which farmers grow just enough food to provide for themselves and their own families. So it's just enough that they are able to survive. Commercial agriculture is a type of farming in which farmers produce food or other products for sale. Civilizations that are involved in this have to be highly complex in culture and growing cities or areas with a good economic activity. Knowing all of this, is America a subsistence or commercial agricultural country? Make a decision and put it in your notes. In the end, you have to look at how the economy, population density, as well as culture play into one another for human geography. Whenever we look to the United States, we know that our type of agriculture many times revolves not only around surrounding ourselves with food and products, but also the idea to sell it. Our government is something that is controlled by the people, and decisions are made by those people, whether they are the ones in charge, like a governor or a mayor, but they're the ones that get voted in to having that role. Culture in the United States is something that develops based upon area or types of people. Remember that a lot of people originally would immigrate to the United States from areas like New York City or West Coast, maybe even coming from Latin or Central America. They come in, they bring their own traditions and culture with them, which enriches the people who are surrounding them. Make sure that you are also having everything filled out before you're done watching this video and answering the questions. If you are highlighting, make sure you are highlighting the correct information or anything else that you find important. Don't lose your notes.